Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we're taking a look at an amazing shoot 'em up for the Sega Dreamcast, and that's Under Defeat by G-Rev, which was released in 2006. And more recently, it was also made available for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, and this game has quickly become one of my new favorite Dreamcast shooters. And I know I probably always say that every time I review a new Dreamcast shooter, and I'll probably say it again in the future as I review more, because honestly, pretty much every shooter on the Dreamcast is really good. I'm hard-pressed to think of one that is below average, and it's reasonable to say that any or all of them is one of your favorites because they're all that good. But this time around, I really mean it. Under Defeat, I've been playing a lot of this game lately, and it has become one of my favorite shooters for the system. If I were to make a top 10 list of my favorite shooters for the Dreamcast right now, Under Defeat would definitely be in there. This is an amazing game. When I first came across Under Defeat, I was under the impression that it was going to be a Zero Gunner clone with the helicopters and all, but when I started playing it, I found that it actually reminds me a lot more of the old school Toa Plan shooters, and in particular Twin Cobra. You do have an increased range of movement, but you can only tilt your ship to the left or right to deal with enemies coming at you from odd angles. So you do not have a full 360 degree range of motion like you do in Zero Gunner, but the screen itself does tend to rotate in 360 degrees, so being able to just tilt in one direction or the other is actually very useful in this game. Also, it plays at kind of an isometric view, which I typically don't like in shoot 'em ups. The perspective makes it really hard to gauge when bullets are actually going to reach you, but I found that it's actually not that big of a hassle in Under Defeat. This is a very no-frills kind of shooter, again, very much like old-school Toa Plan games. There are no real power-ups to speak of. Your main weapon never gets any stronger, but you do have 3 different sub-weapons that you can pick up. You get a Vulcan machine gun and a couple of different types of rockets to choose from, and when they're activated, they act as basically helper options that target your enemies automatically, and once you've used them, you have to wait a certain period of time before you can use them again. So the more powerful sub-weapons take longer to recharge than the weaker ones. And you also get a super bomb that you can use to clear bullets and most enemies from the screen, but it's not just a bomb. It is a complete carpet bombing. This is, without a doubt, my absolute favorite super bomb. In any shooter I've ever played so far, it's just complete scorched earth. I love it. Overall, this game controls really well. It's challenging, but it's not unfair. It's just a really well-made, balanced shooter. Again, no frills, but it doesn't really need it. It just plays really well, and it's a ton of fun. Again, Under Defeat has become one of my new favorite Dreamcast shooters, and I have to imagine that it's just as good, if not better, if you pick it up for the PS3 or 360. I also really like the visuals and sound design in Under Defeat. The whole game has kind of a World War II gritty look to it, which the game actually takes place in an alternate reality that's going through a World War II type of event. So you're not going to see a whole lot of crazy spaceships and robots and such. This is a game that's more grounded in reality, but the look of the environments and all of the enemies, the tanks and helicopters and planes and so forth, it all looks really good, and I will say that this game has probably the best explosions I've ever seen in a shoot 'em up. Lots of sparks and smokes. It looks awesome. The soundtrack also really good, but it doesn't really fit the World War II gritty look of things. The music is more synthesizer heavy, which doesn't really fit the visual style of the game, I don't think. But since, the music is so good, I don't really care. And I will say the explosions don't only look good, they sound great as well. Again, some of the best explosions ever in a shoot 'em up. If you want to make me happy, just put lots of explosions in the game, and that's a good way to start. But overall, this game is amazing in terms of gameplay, and the visuals and sound design really complement that. I don't think it's the best looking or sounding game on the Dreamcast, but it is definitely really good. So, yet again, I'm gushing over a Dreamcast shooter, and I obviously highly recommend this game to shooter fans. The Dreamcast version is actually the most expensive one that's available. The standard edition probably run you about $60, up to $100 or more for the special edition that comes with a soundtrack. So it's actually cheaper to go for the HD re-releases for the PS3 and 360, and I believe the cheapest option by far would be to go for the digital version, which was made available on Xbox 360 Games on Demand. Regardless of what platform you're playing it on, though, I can't imagine you having a bad time. This is a great game, awesome graphics and sound, and really amazing gameplay. Again, it reminds me of a lot of the old school Toa Plan shooters, which is definitely a good thing. So if you are a shoot 'em up fan, go out today, get yourself a copy of Under Defeat in one form or another, and get ready to have a good time. This game is awesome.
Zerstört das Ziel. Befreien Sie dieses Gebiet.